Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of New York, of all places, where a man has been captured for murder. Again, Kinston police say that Bryson Bradley was taken into custody Wednesday in New York. Now he was wanted for the murder of Corey Williams back on September 20th of 2024. Now, police pointed out the irony of Bradley's clothing choice when he was taken into custody, as he's pictured in a shirt with, quote, "Notice me," end quote, printed on the front. Now, the department said in a news release, quote, "Thanks to the dedicated work on investigators and the assistance of our law enforcement partners, that request was fulfilled," end quote. Love a department with a little bit of a sense of humor. Now, the Kinston police thanks the United States Marshals Service and its other law enforcement partners who helped find Bradley and take him into custody. Bradley will be processed and sent back to North Carolina, where he will face charges in that murder case. Another person, Savannah Locklear, has also been charged. She was taken into custody about a month after the murder. Now, we also want to highlight another death investigation, this one going on in New Bern. Now, currently details are sparse, but here is what we know. Police were called to a home in the 800 block of Lees Avenue after a person was found dead earlier this morning. Now, Lees Avenue is off of Cedar Street. Now, a spokeswoman says they have yet to determine if the death was a suicide or not. Stay with WITN for more on this developing story. And staying in New Bern, we also have news out of a gas leak that's happening in downtown on Pollock Street. This has led to the partial closure of Pollock Street. The city says the 400 block of Pollock Street between Middle and Hancock is shut down to all traffic because of that leak. Now, the leak is under the sidewalk in front of the Civic Theater. Piedmont Natural Gas crews are at the location, and the city expects the street to be closed for a few more hours. And finally, for those of you looking to maybe get outside, take a little walk, soak up some sunshine and that warmth while the humidity is still relatively low, today's a beautiful day to do it. Let's take a look at what we've got outside right now. Bellhaven, beautiful. A little bit of cloud cover. Yes, can't call it completely sunny, but mostly sunny skies right now are allowing air temperatures to rise and do so quickly. Most of us right now are looking at temps, at least inland areas, in the mid 70s. A few of us have already started to knock on the door of the upper 70s. Looking at 77 degrees right now in Kenansville, Jacksonville, as well as New Bern. Right now, Stumpy Point, always running a bit hot, currently showing up with 78 degrees. Now, as you get closer to the water, you are looking at a little bit of a cooler temperature profile, largely because land can heat up quite a bit faster than the ocean can. But over the past 24 hours, even the coast has seen an increase in air temperatures. Minimal compared to what we've got for inland areas, but still an increase nonetheless. Inland areas, though, right now looking at air temperatures that are about 15 to 25 degrees warmer than where we were 24 hours ago. And a lot of that has to do not just with the sunshine, but the flow of air coming in out of the southwest. The southwesterly winds bringing up not only heat, but humidity as well. And that could lead to a little bit of some fog early on tomorrow morning. Now, we did have some fog earlier today. Issued a first alert weather day earlier this morning due to that fog and the visibility concerns that it posed. We may end up seeing a similar situation coming up for tomorrow. Now, with air temperatures warming quickly, that fog shouldn't be sticking around too long. As we head towards 10 to 11 a.m., we'll see the cloud cover over eastern North Carolina peel back and reveal partly to mostly sunny skies. That will help carry air temperatures back in the mid to upper 70s, maybe a couple degrees warmer than where we're going to end up later on this afternoon. But the run of heat is not looking like it's going to end anytime soon. Right now, we're stuck in what is considered the warm sector of this frontal system, and so long as the cold fronts further back towards the west continue to inch their way further and further northward, it's going to be difficult for us to to cool down. We need one of those cold fronts to roll through before we can get some of that cooler air. Some of you may be saying, you know what, Charlie, maybe I don't want the cold front. Maybe I don't want it. What about that? Well, I hear you, but again, we are in need of some rain showers, and those frontal boundaries do a pretty good job of providing us with some of that rain. Now, coming up Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, we do need to highlight that opportunity for a few rain showers. We'll see the highest opportunity coming in on Sunday and Monday as a cold front is slowly going to drift further southward, increasing our odds of again catching a few drops. Now, we could see some of those drops come from thunderstorms, but the threat of severe weather not truly there unless that cold front actually moves through eastern North Carolina. Right now, it's just looking like it will approach and then push back, not actually giving us the cold air that would produce that lift needed for severe weather to occur. So good news in that regard, but again, the sign of thunderstorms and 80-degree temperatures is a sign that spring is close by. Now, if you subscribe to the meteorological calendar, spring started back on Sunday. Usually spring starts March 1st on the meteorological calendar, June 1st, the start of summer, September 1st, the start of fall, and December 1st, the start of winter. Obviously, most people go by the astronomical calendar, so our official astronomical start to spring will be occurring later, but right now already feels like it's here. Well, that's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. Now, normally coming up at 2:30, we would have a Charlie Loves Science segment, but that is again going to be happening tomorrow. So for those of you who are looking forward to tuning in, tune in tomorrow, 2:30, for the latest from the Charlie Loves Science segment. We're going to be focusing on iron and its role in capturing carbon. If I'm an iron monger, this seems like a layup for me, but there is certainly some interesting science that goes into the capture of carbon, the sequestration of carbon, and that obviously has a big impact on climate change around the world. We'll have more on that coming up tomorrow at 2:30, but for now, that's all we have time for. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at 3.